Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're out at the range with a handgun that we're selling at Copper Custom. This handgun is a retired police service handgun from California, from the California Highway Patrol, or CHPs. This handgun was commissioned by California, or by the state troopers in California, Highway Patrol, when the M&P had already been in service for almost a year. Smith & Wesson had stopped making the 4006 handguns, the 59 series. All those handguns were retired from manufacturing. They had transitioned to the M&P. However, the CHPs went to Smith & Wesson and said, we want this particular handgun built this particular way, and Smith & Wesson accommodated them. This particular handgun has never been offered to the civilian public before in the configuration that you see it. Let's quickly talk about what it is first of all. So this is a 4006 TSW. It has a special serial number. All of them have a special serial number that starts with CHP, or California Highway Patrol. These are all retired pistols. They're going to new handguns, and so we're getting our hands on these. Some of the features are that it's 40 caliber, of course, because it's a law enforcement pistol, has tactical on the slide, has pretty familiar controls if you're familiar with the 59, 39, 59 series of handguns. Very familiar controls. It is a 40 caliber double stack, holds 11 rounds. I'll probably only be loading 10 rounds today because I'm kind of OCD like that. Loaded chamber indicator on the top, which it's a visible loaded chamber indicator. Has a Picatinny rail. So this is something that you would never have seen before on this particular handgun. A Picatinny rail here for mounting lights and other accessories. Has Novak low profile 3-dot sights. They are not night sights. It has an ambi hammer drop safety. Now you'll notice that it has a bobbed hammer. So the gun is double action and single action. When it cycles once, the hammer's held to the rear for a light second trigger pull, but they have very good double action triggers in them. The hammer drop safety is ambi, but it's also spring loaded. So when I activate the safety, it drops the hammer. The minute I release it, it goes back to fire. So you cannot accidentally leave this gun on safe. It will always be in the fire mode, thereby leaving the double action being your safety. Now the guns do have a magazine safety in them. This one doesn't have a magazine in it. I'm gonna go ahead and put this magazine in it. There's not a round chambered, but you can double action first shot, it cycles, single action every shot thereafter until you decock it with the lever. Let's take that loaded magazine out. Go ahead and just make sure the weapon's clear here really quick. So it also comes with just standard Smith & Wesson grips. The grips won't be swapped out, and each of them will come with 3 magazines. 1 in the gun and 2 extras in the box. And again, they're 11 round 40 Smith & Wesson magazines. Now here's what's funny. These guns are coming out of California. We're buying them at Copper Custom. Then we're taking $15 of every one of these handguns that is sold, and we're taking that money, 15 bucks, and we're giving it to the Gun Owners of California, which is a lobby group that fights gun laws in the state of California. I can't legally sell this to a California resident. It's not on the roster. That sucks. But what we're doing is taking those California pistols that are being retired, and we're selling them, taking profits from that, and giving part of it to the Gun Owners of California to fight gun laws for our friends in California. So we're using their own guns against them, so to speak. And so that's the other beautiful thing about this. So when you're buying one of these guns, you're getting a collectible. It's a California Highway Patrol gun, has a special serial number, and you're helping our friends in California behind enemy lines to fight for their rights. It's a win-win situation. So anyway, we're gonna do some shooting with this handgun this afternoon. We have some federal target ammunition out here, just some range loads. We'll show you how the gun works. We'll break it down, show you what it looks like on the inside. This is an average specimen. This one is not specially hand-picked. Most of these guns are in extremely good condition, but we'll show you all that here in just a few moments. Anyway, let's load up some more magazines, start doing some shooting with the pistol, and show you what it looks like on the inside. I think you're gonna like what you see. Let's take a look inside of the 4006 TSW. Now keep in mind, guys, this gun is based upon an early model Smith & Wesson double action, single action pistol. The design's nothing new. It evolved over several different generations into the configuration you see here. So it's a little bit harder to take apart than a modern handgun like, you know, an M&P or something like that, a Beretta, whatever. So it's more like a 1911-inch disassembly. Go ahead and make sure the weapon's clear, no magazine. I'm gonna lock the slide to the rear. Visually inspect the chamber, make sure she's empty, and she is. Now I'm going to let the slide go home. There's a takedown notch, which is also your slide stop. You're going to want it right there, okay? So what you're going to do is just pull the slide to the rear and hold it like this. You can also hold it like this, and I also use a magazine to get at this pin, which is right here. It's a little bit recessed, but you just take the end of the magazine and push, and it'll pop that pin out on this side, and you just pull it straight out, just like a 1911, okay? Now let the gun go forward, and I hit the hammer drop safety to drop the hammer because it's going to fall anyway, but this way the slide catches it and it doesn't damage the frame. And then you can just pull the slide and the frame apart. These are stainless steel lowers. These are heavy guns, guys. These are built like tanks. Now, if you look inside of this thing, this is how it came into Copper Custom. We haven't cleaned it. I haven't fired this particular gun. Again, we just grabbed one out of a box. This is what they look like when they come to us. So they're probably cleaned by the armory, perhaps, before they're retired. But every one of them I've personally looked at have looked very, very clean. Now, they're going to have some dings maybe in the grips and stuff like that. But overall, I'm going to say almost all of these guns are in 98% condition. This one's pretty dry. I don't see a whole lot of lubrication on it. But that doesn't matter. These are insanely reliable handguns. So that's how you field strip it. Very simple. Now let's talk about this rail. So Smith & Wesson did do a bolt-on rail on some of the earlier 40-06s and some of their other guns. It would be a stainless steel slide, and you see like a black piece that they bolted onto the receiver. When the California Highway Patrol went to them, they wanted to have the integrated rail, so Smith & Wesson redid their molds, and they cast these molds or made these molds so that the rail would be integrated into the gun. That's one of the unique features of the pistol. Again, this is a very robust, very strong pistol. If you're going to shoot a lot of 40 Smith & Wesson, as you may know, 40 Smith & Wesson, it can be very hard on handguns. This gun's built like a tank. It could take 10 millimeter in my opinion. All right, to put her back together, very simple. I'm going to put the frame down. I'm going to drop the barrel back into the slide. Put your recoil spring and guide rod in. Be careful that you don't send this sailing into the woods. There's a little perch right there that it'll sit on. And this gets a little bit tricky, but I'll show you a trick that I love these handguns. I have a 9mm, very similar to this. Now, when you go back, you'll notice that your ejector and some of your fire control parts are sticking up, and the slide won't go on easily. What I found is the easiest way to do it is just to use your takedown pin, push these down, and let the slide go back over them. And that's the easiest way I found to get them back together. Just use your takedown pin as a tool to push them down. Now you're going to bring the slide back to where the notch looks like that. Stick your slide stop pin across. And make sure you get it all the way in there. And the gun's back together and ready to be fired. Let's fire off the first few rounds out of this handgun. I've never had this particular gun to the range before. I still haven't put any CLP or anything on it. I'm going to fire it dry just to show you guys that these things are insanely reliable pistols. As a matter of fact, when Smith & Wesson moved away from these types of pistols, the 59 series of handguns, I was kind of depressed, man. I wish they would have kept them alive with the M&Ps, but they retired the design. I've always been a big fan of this particular handgun in 9mm and 10mm and 45 ACP. The 40 is a very capable cartridge. Of course, it's a law enforcement cartridge, still very popular, and that's why these guns obviously are chambered in 40. So I'm going to put 10 rounds loaded. It will take 11. Put a 10-round magazine in, just pull the slide to the rear. The hammer stays back, okay? No safety. If I pull the trigger right now, the gun's going to go bang. If I activate the safety, it's going to drop that hammer safely on that live round. When I release it, it goes right back to the fire position. It's a really nice feature. So I'm going to fire this first shot double action, and this is just some Federal standard range ammunition. It's not super hot stuff. We just picked it up at a local gun shop. So you'll notice that the handgun doesn't seem to jump around a whole lot. The 40 Smith & Wesson's a potent cartridge, but because of its heft, it's a fairly heavy handgun, all metal, it's very manageable to shoot and actually really, really pleasant. And the trigger is actually really nice. That double action's awesome. And locks open, last shot fired. The ergonomics on these things are actually pretty darn good. For a double stack, for my large hands, they fit very well. The slide stop's located in a spot that my thumb stays out of its way so I don't get false locks or I don't lock open on the last shot fired. Like I said, guys, I've been a big fan of this particular design of handgun for a long time. I have a couple more magazines in my pocket, and I'm keeping this one for myself. Yeah. And again, I have put no lubrication on the gun. It's just shooting away. I haven't shot 40 in a long time, guys. Matter of fact, that's probably the first time I fired a 40 Smith & Wesson in years. It's got some recoil to it, man. It's a cool cartridge. I know a lot of you guys make fun of the fact that I say 40 sucks, but I only say that because I'm a fan of 10mm, and 40 Smith & Wesson took 10mm away from us. In reality, I don't think it's a bad cartridge. It's a fine cartridge. I just don't choose to buy 40 Smith & Wessons a whole lot. Actually, not at all, because I'm just kind of a 9mm guy. But when it comes to a collectible pistol like this, when we got them in, I had to have one for the collection. Again, because this is a very special model. They only made it for the CHP, and it has that special CHP serial number. Such a cool gun, man. I'm gonna let Dave shoot it, see what he thinks.
Shooting a little high for the sights, but not bad. It's been a long time since I've shot 40.
Guys, we're not just blowing smoke. This is the first check that we're sending to gun owners of California from the sales of the handguns that we've made so far. This is a $1,900 check. We hope to send them many more. That depends on you, whether or not you buy the handguns. They're $399. Out of that $399, we're sending 15 bucks out of every single handgun to these guys to help fight those gun laws in California. Now, when I ask you guys to join the NRA and use the link down below and to share the link down below, the money that comes to me from the NRA, 100% of that goes to Hero Hunt, which helps wounded warriors and first responders like fire, rescue, and police. It's a very good nonprofit organization. We're fighting at Copper Custom at the Military Arms Channel to preserve and to reclaim our liberties, and we're not kidding. And we hope this stings the California government. When somebody there in California that's anti-gun that may see this video, I hope they see this number, and we hope to send them many more checks because we want the people in California to get their rights back. All right, so we've moved up to 7 yards away from this IPSC kill zone target. We're gonna do some double taps with the handgun to see how well I can manage the 40 Smith & Wesson and its recoil, since I'm kind of a 9mm putty kind of guy, right? Shoot a lot of 9s, don't shoot a whole lot of anything else. So let's see if I can manage the recoil of this pistol and see how effective it is at a gunfight distance, probably a little bit further than a gunfight distance, but I don't want to get any closer to the steel in case a bullet fragment comes back at me. Here we go. Both on target. Ah, I dropped one there. There you go, guys. I dropped one. Not bad. First time to the range with this particular gun. But double taps are very easy to pull off, even with that range ammo, which seems a little bit warm. I have to put it on a chronograph to find out just how warm it is. But definitely warmer than my 9mm. Try my luck at 100 yards. That one hit. That one hit. Oh, I saw where it hit in front of it. Got it that time. Got it again. I don't know on that one. Definitely got it on that one. I heard it rip through the woods. Yeah, I don't think I hit those last 2 or 3. That's pretty impressive, guys. First time to the range with this thing. The trigger's good enough to, and these are kind of broad combat fighting sights. And really, you're holding over the target. You don't have a sight picture. You kind of hold it on the man size, and I'm holding high and right, and it's just Kentucky windage. But it's not bad for a handgun. I've never really shot much. Well, never shot at all until today. So the double action pull on this pistol is over 9.5, 10 pounds. This one just, my Lyman digital trigger pull gauge here tells me that this goes over, so I can't give you an exact measurement on the double action. I do have an empty magazine in the pistol just because it has a magazine safety. I'm gonna go ahead and let this slide go home, and now I'm gonna measure the trigger pull and see what we get on the single action. I'm guessing it's really nice because it has a very clean single action pull. It's saying 7 pounds. That seems a little heavy. But it could be 7 pounds. It's just nice and crisp. Yeah, it's doing 7 pounds. That may seem a little bit heavy, but the gun doesn't feel like a 7-pound trigger to me at all. Do it one more time. These gauges can be a little bit hanky if you you pull past and hit the frame and pull on it, and not just the trigger pull. It has a very short travel. It'll come almost all the way up against the frame before it breaks. You can get false readings. .6 pounds. I'm trying to be cautious and not pull against the frame. So somewhere between 6 pounds, 6 ounces to 7 pounds. I'll go with 6 because that's about what it feels like to my finger. But yeah, that's a very good trigger pull. Again, the magazine safety, got the magazine out of it. Gun won't fire, but you can drop the hammer, put the magazine in, and now the weapon fires. All right, guys, it's time to wrap things up this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed coming out to the range with us, doing a little bit of shooting with the Smith & Wesson 4006 TSW California Highway Patrol Edition. These are available now at Copper Custom. It is a pre-order in most cases. We're getting them in as the California Highway Patrol is releasing them, but they are available on the website, so it may take a week or two for you to get the gun if you order it, but if you do, it's only $3.99. 15 bucks from every sale of every handgun goes to the state of California, to the gun owners of California, and that's to fight against gun laws in the Golden State. So get in the fight, join the NRA, link down below. If you use that link, I get money. That money goes to Hero Hunt, 100% of it, and that goes to help wounded warriors and first responders, which include fire, rescue, and police. So get in the fight, join the NRA, spread that link around because it goes to a good cause. Buy one of these handguns. If you're a Smith & Wesson collector, you're not going to have another opportunity, guys. This is a CHIPS handgun made just for the California Highway Patrol. You can also support us just by stopping by and shopping at Copper Custom. We have a brand new website. Please swing by, check that out. Guys, I've really enjoyed bringing you out here to the range with the handgun. If you would like to support us directly at the Military Arms Channel, you can do that at Patreon. And at Patreon, you can find articles that I write that are written or available nowhere else. We also put up some smoking deals that you simply will not believe the prices of. We can't talk about them because they violate MAP grossly. But that's a perk and is a thank you for you guys directly supporting us here at the Military Arms Channel, because YouTube has killed our monetization. So anyway, thanks for coming out. I do hope you enjoyed the time out here on the range with us. Fire one more magazine, pack Peaches up, and get back to the shop. I don't know. I might have to buy another 40. Keep in mind, guys, this is a it's designed based on an early Smith & Wesson design, so it's not as simple as some of the more